2026 and to Ask Dr. Jeff, the interactive Zoom experience where we discuss all things optimal wellness and just cool technology, equipment, things that help us to be smarter, stronger, better, and more capable of living a long and luxurious life. My name is Dr. Jeff Hubbard. I'm your host and facilitator, medical doctor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And I am just so excited. So excited about the new year, so excited about all the cool things that are happening. And I am looking forward to the discussion this evening. Guys, we took a break for the holiday, and also we ran into some compliance issues with LifeWave. And that's not a big thing, that's not a problem. We're making the necessary adjustments. But until we get all of the details about how we can restructure our programming to ensure compliance with our amazing company and the amazing patch technology, we are just going to use this as an educational platform where we discuss cool things that you should be knowing about. If you don't know about it, that's great. That means you're going to be edified with powerful information that you can leverage to impact your life. If you do know about it, this is a great opportunity to dive deeper, ask questions, get more information, all of that good stuff. So in the year of 2026, this is going to be awesome. This is a special day. Why? Because 5 years ago today, we started the pilot episode of Ask Dr. Jeff. So it's our anniversary. Yeah, anniversary. So I am so excited about that. We didn't do a whole big bulletin and a lot of pomp and circumstance, but it is indeed a memorable day. I was watching this YouTuber and he was responding to some questions that people were asking about how do you improve your videos? How do you monetize your YouTube channel? How do you ensure that people are enjoying your content? When do you add in all of these other bells and whistles and features? He said, record and publish 100 videos and then come talk to me. And I probably was maybe in video number 30 or 40, and I was like, dang, wow, I gotta come up with 70 more videos before I'm even ready to begin to discuss how to improve what I'm doing. And the reality is, guys, he was very, very correct. You have to get in rhythm. You have to get a captive audience. You have to get all of your equipment and lighting and all of these different things. I can recall some of my first videos. Obviously, it's interesting watching my hair journey because when I started, I had this puffy afro, and now I have uh, locks, and they're hanging much longer than I ever expected them to be. But that's another story for another day. What I have come to realize is that over the course of the last 5 years, guys, we really have made some impactful change. We've created a ripple in the pond. It is so awesome to know that my consistency of connecting with you guys on a weekly basis has actually made things better. All right. And so that's all you can really ask for is to do something that's making lives and others better. So I'm really excited about that and excited for what all that 2026 has to bring to us. Right. So, guys, I've been giving a lot of deliberation, thought, contemplation to how we tackle this new year, what kind of content we're going to cover, what kind of educational topics are really important, things that I believe are going to be valuable, and again, going to provide resource and support so that you can be at your best state. And so that's where my focus point is. So I'm going to ask you guys as a favor, please start to send me some content or some topics that can be content. Send it to my email, send it on the website, whatever the case may be. And let's start building out a content schedule. I am going to be much more intentional about proactively telling you what I'm going to cover and also creating more structure around our general 30-minute session. More specifically, I'm really going to start using virtually the entire 30 minutes for me to disseminate information, to share thoughts and topics, to give resource. We'll cut down on our question and answer to the last 5 or 7 minutes or so, and we'll roll that over into the subscriber session. So the subscriber session actually is going to be much more about Q&A, much more about interactive conversation. On the front end, guys, the public facing Ask Dr. Jeff is going to be much more just about sharing information. All right. So that we don't run into any of these compliance issues any further. And not just with LifeWave, but in general, guys. I really have been thinking about that. They're really making some changes around what can be said on the internet, what can be discussed on live broadcasts, what can be captured and archived and stored and viewed later. So I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to have no problems. I like a blue outfit, not an orange outfit. So I just want to, moving forward, I'm going to be much more intentional about making sure that we don't step on any toes or infringe upon anybody's turf. All right. So that's just a general comment. But what I would love to know is what you guys want to talk about, what you're interested in. I know that many of you have your own research that you're doing, your own interests that you have, or maybe there are specific topics or specific concerns that you have with your health or health of a loved one, etc. And we can discuss those things and just keep it very, very surface. We don't necessarily have to discuss how in which you can tackle those issues. We can just discuss the issues in general so that we have more perspective and a better understanding about the human body, about physiology, about pathophysiology. How do these diseases become what they are in the first place, right? What are these microorganisms that can create infection? How does the body respond to electromagnetic radiation in our phones? How does it respond to 5G? How does it respond to blue light, all of these devices and tablets and TVs? Those are just a few of the things that I know are pretty hot topics and what I've heard other people discussing on a regular basis. And guys, I also think that we're going to move towards having some short and really succinct interviews with other practitioners who have things to say and skills to provide, right? So my mind has been swirling with ideas over the holiday. And the one thing I can say for sure is that I miss you guys. This is a reciprocal relationship. You just don't know how your energy and your presence charges me up, as well as I'm sure you guys get a lot of benefit from coming on Tuesday nights. And I know many, if not all of you, are life waivers. And so, again, I'm not uh, detaching myself from LifeWave. However, I think there's some core things that are changing within the scope of LifeWave and how you can promote it online. So since our interaction is all online and digital, we have to be in accordance with what those rules are. All right. So yeah, we're good. We're doing pretty good on time. I'd like to just open the floor. If you have any questions, if you have any thoughts right out the gate, I am open to hearing what's going on. If you've got any stories, any cool stuff that's happened in the meantime, between time since we've been together last, it seems like longer than 2 weeks, but definitely would like to catch up if there's anything that you guys would like to say, share, thoughts, etc. No need to raise your hands. We could just kind of have an open dialogue here. So feel free to unmute and ask anything or make a comment.
I'm going to make a comment. I think it's great, because I work in the wellness field, and because I'm on the wellness side of things, for a living, there's so many things you can say and do. And actually, what's great about having the compliance is then you can undersell and overdeliver.
That is
People
a
can
great point,
just
Russell.
use the patches and get their own results and their own story from it without, because, people are in who are in network marketing, I've been around this industry for a lot of years, tend toward hyperbole. you know, oh, this is going to save your life. This is going to, all this kind of stuff. And it's great to have the compliance so that we just let it speak, let the product speak for itself, you know?
Amen, brother. And you're absolutely right. Things can get conflated. And that's actually one of the things that was brought up in my discussion with them was that it is implied product claims, right?
Yes.
So we can't necessarily say that there's a protocol or a particular regimen that helps you do any one thing
Right.
because that
Also, you're a doctor. And,
yeah,
in our society, we deify doctors. And so somebody will say, well, Dr. Jeff said, well, he told us, and you didn't
yeah,
say anything of the like, but they took it
yeah.
and took it to the next level.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I respect and honor that on both sides. I don't like it, but it's true. It's absolutely true. And just the nature of the discussion, Ask Dr. Jeff, it gives its own sort of connotation about how the program works. So, um, you know, I was under the impression, and this is not new. This we've been doing this for a while. I thought this was actually an opportunity to give a little bit of nuance to the way the patches are presented. I think everybody having the same program tends to be a little redundant and, quite frankly, a little boring. But I
Hmm.
respect that, and we just got to do what we got to do. Thank you, sir. I appreciate those comments, though. Very great points.
No problem.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Anybody else have any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? Nope. Okay. Cool. Well, we can keep talking. One thing that I think is really important and what what has been done in the past, which I think is actually okay, is that we talk about the end goal, the molecule, the supplement, the part of the body that we want to talk about, the biochemical process that we want to talk about. That's really important, right? Um, we talk oftentimes about glutathione. All right, glutathione is a master antioxidant. It's so powerful. It helps to reduce the amount of free radicals that we have in our cell. That over the course of time helps the cell to be healthier, and it helps us to support immune function. And so it's small things like that, how we actually say what we say. So it's important to use language like support. And obviously, we can't say heal, treat, cure, prevent, or any of those things. And even if we say those things, we have to be real careful about what we say afterwards. So I think by narrowing down our Q&A, just to kind of present the products and answer any questions about the product, how to wear it, how it works, how not to use it, do's and don'ts. Those kind of things are going to be our emphasis for the Q&A. Okay. And I know that it's kind of pretty significantly different than how we normally do things, but guys, just bear with us as we figure out how we're going to kind of start this next chapter. But I'm excited. We're going to do some really cool things. I have a laundry list of things that I've been working on, thinking about, and we'll talk about them at length as things go by. We'll try some stuff. I want you guys to tell me if you like it, if you don't like it. I think we're going to do some um, pre-recorded information so that it's all uniform and that it always conveys the right message and that we stay in our time frame, right? Because now that we've narrowed things down to 30 minutes, I think it's really important that we maximize those 30 minutes and we ensure that you guys get the meat and potatoes from the conversation and ensure that you walk away with some really good information and you feel uh, like the time we spent is valuable. All right. So that's what I'm really excited about. And I'm going to make it an effort to also summarize all of our topics, all of our conversations, and get those out to you. That's going to be another perk of you being a subscriber. And so you'll get a weekly summary that you can go over and think about in detail and kind of unpack at your leisure so that you know you're understanding exactly what's valuable about the topic and how it relates to your system or to your loved one's system and all of that good stuff. All right.
Little sidebar
So
on that, Dr. Jeff. Just wanted to tell you something because of what I do during the day.
yeah,
Speaking to people. The AI that's within Zoom is
uh-huh.
takes amazing notes.
It does. It actually, and
I
as
didn't
you
know if you
say
knew
that,
that.
no, it's supposed to be recording right now. Actually, just realized now that we're talking that it's not doing it. So I'm gonna have to make sure that it's all hooked up and linked up appropriately. But you're absolutely right, man. The note takers and the transcript readers are very, very powerful.
So is that the Firefly that I always kick out of the Zooms? Because
Yep.
I'm not. Oh, okay. So because I'm scared to let it in. I
Yep.
always
So,
we kick them out, or don't let them in actually. But
so
I mean, what do I expect when Firefly takes notes? Every single word transcripted?
no, no,
Oh,
it's going to be a summary. It
oh,
will give you a synopsis of the conversations and will kind of wrap everything up in a bow.
have you ever had trouble with it? No?
Well, I haven't used Firefly.
Oh,
Typically, when you record your Zoom, you get a transcript. And so what I've been doing is just taking that transcript and plugging it in where it needs to be to get a summary and to get all of that. And I usually use that internally, but I think it would be cool to make that uh, a newsletter or some sort of summarization where we can get bullet points and you can have some talking points from what the concept was for that discussion.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm scared to let her in, so I've never let Firefly in. It's like, nope, you're not coming. Not invited. Thank you.
No, you're no worries. And so Zoom on the back end can be quite sophisticated. I mean, there's so many features, there's so many components, there's so many on-off buttons. So that's something you just kind of have to familiarize yourself with. I find myself going to YouTube trying to learn how to use certain tools because I don't have the time and the energy to kind of figure it all out on the fly. So, but the Firefly actually uh, it acts as another attendee, and so it is collecting notes in real time. So that's the difference between usually with the transcript, you have to complete the meeting and then you get the summary.
Mm.
Hey, Susan, how are you?
Hey, Dr. Jeff, I'm doing fantastic. Um, so glad to be back here. And
Absolutely.
my question is basically, I have a 97-year-old brand partner, and Dick Williams, and he's been really impressed lately with the ice wave for his back. Anyway, he asked me, he says he was going to buy something that restored his telomeres from a company called Touchstone. And I says, we have a product, my understanding, carnosine helps telomeres, and X39 probably would too. And then it made me think there's probably, like if we're putting anti-aging, we could list different patches that would help with a particular thing, from the stem cells to the telomeres. Somewhere I read about SOD, so I just wanted to get your opinion on um, you know, different things that how you can present it to people for anti-aging, because sometimes they think like X39 is not enough.
You know, that's a great question. I think typically, and so let me back up a little bit because I've watched maybe 3 or 4 different podcasts or interviews with Mr. Schmidt, the founder and CEO of LifeWave. And he talks often or has talked often about how the importance of telomeres and the importance of how to nurture them because they are being shown in the literature that the the healthier your telomeres are, the more elongated your telomeres are, the healthier and longer your cells are able to function appropriately. And so there is a direct correlation between telomeres and longevity. And specifically 39 and 49 have some support or have some way by which they help to stimulate the health of the telomeres. So that's what I think is an important driving factor. And I think it's so important for you to just share with a lot of individuals that this is a lifestyle brand, right? This is a lifestyle shift. And I think a lot of people, as Rasul mentioned, when you have these presentations and you see these really significant changes or you see these amazing before and after pictures, it gives you the perspective that this is common amongst everyone and that everybody's going to have this degree of a shift. And for some, this is the case. For others, this is not the case. And in those instances, we have to be really steadfast in helping them to understand that this is about consistency over time and that, you know, your the elasticity of your skin, the wrinkles, the blemishes, hyperpigmentation, the scarring, whatever it is that you believe is contributing to the look of age, it takes time for those things to begin to improve. And this is GHKCU is used in a multitude of different products, right? There's all of these topical products, there's injections, there's lotions and potions and creams and all of this good stuff, um, which have maybe a significantly higher dose than we're getting through the utilization of photobiomodulation and the patch technology. So there's consistency in a low dose, right? And over time, that makes a dramatic impact because there's a compounding effect. Whereas some people are getting like very high dose or they're very targeted because they can put the topical ointment or what have you on the area that they want to see improve. So obviously, if you keep moisturizing your face with GHKCU products, then your face is going to have a more youthful appearance. That's the way that that particular molecule helps. And so, especially if you're wearing it just in those hallmark locations, you got to give yourself time to really see the difference. And so, I mean, here it is, almost 6 years for me, and I'm still seeing things. And it's cool, like I was saying earlier, because weekly you can look at a video and you can see 2 years ago, this is how I looked. And now, almost 6 years in, you can see how I look. So I was just thinking about that. It's almost like you're seeing the effects of the patches in real time by watching me. But I think that's what you really have to get somebody to appreciate, Susan, is that they just have to really buy into it,
Mhm.
quite literally, and stay the course over time. And that's when they'll start to hopefully see the results that they expect.
And I see Sil made a comment that Alavita lengthens telomeres and carnosine protects them. That's interesting. But one last thing, someone asked me, she has a cosmetic place, you know, with body and facial work. She just wrote me and said, "What about NAD? Is it as strong as X39 as strong as NAD?" And I don't even know much about NAD.
Yeah, and so I believe it's in acetyl. Oh, you're calling me to the carpet there, Susan. I can't think of what the D stands for. I don't want to butcher it, but NAD plus is a very, very powerful cofactor in some of the essential biochemical processes that take place inside the cell.
Mm.
So I don't think there's a direct comparison to what GHKCU or the way in which some of the patches are helping with cell function. They all are valuable. I've actually got some supplements that have NAD in it as well. It has a similar effect. Right? It gives energy. It helps to improve sleep. It helps to improve, physical functionality, those sorts of things. It just makes sure your cells are working at their peak. And so that's oftentimes what people describe with GHKCU as well. And then, many other patches, they're all about making sure that on a foundational cellular level, that things are operating at their peak. And so that's what the real take home message is. And so just when your cells are functioning better, everything functions better.
So if I'm using X39 every day and maybe 2 a day, I don't need the NAD, do I?
You don't need it, but it wouldn't hurt.
Wouldn't hurt.
So
Okay.
if you can, so if you, I've heard this question before. It's like, I'm paying X amount of dollars for NAD. Does it make sense to also get X39? And I'm always like, absolutely. But if you're trying to make a decision between the two,
Oh, yeah.
um, that's just kind of a decision you have to make. Which one you think makes you feel better, or which one you think has the most impact.
Okay. Thank you.
No, of course. Thank you. Those great questions. And let's see who gave me the cheat sheet there. Angela, thank you very much for helping us to know what NAD stands for. I greatly appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, we are at the conclusion of the first Ask Dr. Jeff episode of 2026. Again, thank you so much for joining our anniversary celebration, right? So we're excited for another year of Ask Dr. Jeff. Guys, there's going to be some changes, some adjustments, some things that we are going to be implementing over the course of the next few weeks. So stay tuned, but we will be here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to rock and roll, answering uh, questions that you may have, providing more resources, support, talking about various different topics and things that are going to be valuable and edifying. Okay, so um, great to see all of you. Hope you had an excellent holiday season and your new year is starting off in the best of ways. And I am excited for all the things to come. Subscribers, we'll see you in just a few minutes and we'll unpack more of this. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday for another episode of Ask Dr. Jeff. Thank you so much and see you soon.